The mission of Schedule Viewer is to provide industry-leading, affordable, and easy-to-use software for the non-emergency medical transportation (NEMT) market. Coupling the latest technology with customer-driven innovation and excellent support, we pursue our goal of empowering our customers, transportation providers, and brokers to be profitable, growing businesses, giving excellent service to their patrons, the riding public. Designed specifically for non-emergency medical transportation providers, MediRoutes optimizes your day-to-day operations so you can focus on what matters most, your customers and your bottom line. Let's meet A1 NEMT Transportation, a fictional NEMT provider. 70% of A1 NEMT Transportation's business comes from brokers, while 20% is private contracts and 10% is school kids. They perform an average of 100 trips daily and dispatch approximately 7 vehicles on the road each day. A1 NEMT Transportation used to struggle with daily scheduling, dispatching, driver communication, billing, and compliance. They were always running late, wasting time and money due to poor workflow and practices. MediRoutes optimized all phases of their operations. By automating scheduling, dispatching, and billing, A1 NEMT Transportation can focus on providing better service to its clients. Let's walk through a day at A1 NEMT Transportation. The two brokers they work with are Logisticare and MTM. Those trips are automatically entered into MediRoutes through an import file from the broker. MediRoutes works with all major brokerages and many of the regional brokers around the United States. Once the file has been downloaded, it can be imported with a click of a button. As MediRoutes imports each trip, it automatically calculates the optimal pickup time based on load time, estimated driving time, and unload time for each trip. Once the optimized trips have been imported into MediRoutes, the next step is to schedule the trips to the vehicles. MediRoutes' scheduling algorithm assigns the trips to the best vehicles or drivers to perform the trip. This optimized scheduling algorithm takes into consideration the patient's requirements, so ambulatory, wheelchair, or stretcher needs, and appointment time, the transport vehicle's capacity, the drive time, and funding source requirements or limitations. For example, A1 NEMT Transportation's contract for school kids requires that school kids never ride with adults. The MediRoutes software knows this limitation and therefore never schedules kids with adults on the same vehicle at the same time. At the same time, the MediRoutes software optimizes revenue per mile by ensuring that each vehicle is loaded to its capacity and minimizing the total number of miles driven. The whole process of assigning trips to the best vehicle to ensure every passenger gets to their appointment on time and that A1 NEMT Transportation maximizes its revenue for each mile takes less than 60 seconds. At the end of the scheduling process, A1 NEMT Transportation can see exactly how much money they're going to make for each mile driven, revenue per mile, for each vehicle before any vehicles leave for that day. This allows A1 NEMT Transportation to make changes to the schedule to ensure that each route planned will be as profitable as possible. Once the schedule is confirmed, A1 NEMT Transportation can be assured that they're making the most revenue possible based on the number of trips they have that day while driving the fewest number of miles and utilizing only the vehicles they need for that day. So A1 NEMT Transportation once had a problem with lots of cancel at doors and no-shows, which cost them time and money. Now that they use MediRoutes automatic trip reminders, each passenger is notified a day in advance by email, telephone, and/or text that they have scheduled transportation with A1 NEMT Transportation. The passenger can confirm or cancel the appointment immediately, saving the passenger and A1 NEMT Transportation time and inconvenience, and the company money. MediRoutes Driver's mobile application connects drivers with dispatchers in real time, eliminating miscommunication, wasted time, and passenger frustration. Using MediRoutes mobile application, the exact time and addresses of trips are recorded as they're performed. Drivers can secure a passenger or facility signature, mark trips as canceled at door or no-show, and record when they're on break. And while the driver is performing these actions in real time in the field, the dispatcher can monitor all of this on their dispatching screen. By using the MediRoutes mobile app, A1 NEMT Transportation eliminated their need for any paper logs for drivers. Let's follow Steve, an A1 NEMT Transportation driver, to see how MediRoutes makes life easier for him and his dispatcher. Steve begins his shift by inspecting his vehicle and reviewing his trips for the day in the mobile app. Steve will perform his pullout, which creates a timestamp for timekeeping and payroll. Steve reaches his first destination and marks his arrival in his mobile device, automatically creating an accurate timestamp. Once the passenger is safely in the vehicle, Steve performs the pickup in the mobile app as he departs, creating another timestamp. So we know the exact wait time for this passenger. The dispatcher immediately sees that Steve has made his first pickup as he continues on his way. As Steve arrives at his second pickup, the mobile app provides special instructions that this client needs assistance getting into the vehicle, which Steve provides. Steve continues to his first drop-off location. The mobile app alerts him that a passenger's signature is required. Steve captures the passenger's signature electronically on the mobile app. The signature is sent immediately, eliminating the need for maintaining paper records. While Steve and the other drivers are on the road performing the trips assigned to them, the dispatcher can easily see all vehicles and drivers, their location, and trip status. Or the dispatcher can focus on any specific driver and monitor his or her progress in real time. When a will call passenger calls and requests to be picked up, MediRoutes real-time scheduling will suggest which drivers are best suited for the call. The real-time scheduling algorithm takes into consideration many factors, including the space type, ambulatory versus wheelchair as an example, the capacity of the vehicle, which vehicles are closest, and all the other passengers already assigned to the vehicle. Don't want anyone to get to their appointment late. Steve is nearby and is the best option, so the dispatcher assigns the trip to him. Steve immediately gets a notification on his mobile device and confirms the change in his schedule via the mobile application. Phone calls are no longer necessary to modify the schedule. When a passenger calls and asks, "Where's my ride?" the dispatcher can see exactly what vehicle and driver has been assigned to the trip and can tell the passenger the exact ETA of the driver using real-time traffic data. Meanwhile, the dispatcher continues to check the dispatch dashboard to see which drivers are busy, idle, on time, or running behind, making sure everything looks good. MediRoutes doesn't just make dispatching and scheduling easier, it makes getting paid easier too. MediRoutes helps your organization improve revenue cycle management while decreasing paperwork. MediRoutes' billing system was designed for flexibility and accuracy, ensuring the correct rates and codes are automatically selected for each trip. Since MediRoutes validates and prices trips during the scheduling process, the billing process is simple. MediRoutes supports a variety of billing methods, including electronic billing to Logisticare and MTM, electronic trip sheets accepted by all major brokers, paper invoices, 1500s, and 837 electronic files. With the click of a button, MediRoutes creates and prints the completed form without any data entry. With MediRoutes, A1 NEMT Transportation can accurately bill right away for the trips they've completed. With streamlined operations and accurate automated billing, MediRoutes has helped A1 NEMT Transportation to grow more than they ever thought possible. A1 NEMT Transportation is just an example of what MediRoutes can do for your company. MediRoutes works with hundreds of NEMT companies across the country and processes more than 10 million trips a year. MediRoutes' simplified, automated scheduling, dispatching, and billing means you can focus on what matters most, your customer and your bottom line. MediRoutes, transforming NEMT for you and your customer.